Hey guys, it's ViewMasters Reactions, and we're back with the second hour of Exandria Unlimited Calamity. EXU is what we call it. We have 3 hours left. I wasn't aware there is a mid-break, just like Critical Role does for the campaigns. So there is about a 15 or 20 minute break in between. I am going to go to that point. I feel like that's going to be an hour and 20 minutes. I didn't realize there was a break. If I knew there was a break, I would have done another 5 or 10 minutes here and we would have had an even time. But after the break, I saw there's about an hour and 50 minutes, so we'll probably do 2 more episodes like that. Maybe I'll do one today, tomorrow, and then Friday, and then do the live stream. Episode 1 didn't drop on Critical Role's site till I feel like the late afternoon Monday, and that was Memorial Day. So by the time I actually reacted to it, it was Tuesday. You guys saw part 1 yesterday. Today is Wednesday. I'm going to do 1 tomorrow, 1 Friday. That's how I'm going to do it. But like I said, now that I know you guys told me I could subscribe for free on Twitch using Amazon Prime, I'm going to do that, and then I'll get the episode when you guys get it. I'll be able to get a jump on it this weekend, and then we'll edit it up a little differently. I was even thinking about also possibly doing a Sunday live stream, perhaps. I'm a huge Celtics fan, but the finals will be over in a week and a half, and then we got nothing for a while. I know I do Barry's on Sunday, but Barry ends in a week, and I haven't been posting them on YouTube because it's just been too much other things I'm doing. So it isn't really a problem. Either way, couple things I wanted to go over very quickly before we get in, because we're going to watch about an hour and 20 minutes, like I said, so I don't want to talk too long. But a lot of people in the comments helped me out with a couple things. I was aware when I started editing episode 1, part 1, that I kept saying Xerxes' brother. I am aware it is his husband. I believe the name is Avandrin, Avandrin, I believe is the spelling. I knew it was his husband when I was editing it, and I'm like, Jay, what the heck? I said it was his brother like 5 times in the edit. Gordranus is the name that the dude JB told me about. I am also aware that he is the guy that was in the whatever that was in the beginning of the episode. I don't know if it was a flashback. I don't know if it is the future, like the foreshadowing of something, or actually him seeing the future. It could be so many different things. Being as I'm thrown into this world and I don't even know who Xerxes is beyond a 30-second introduction, I don't know. Like I said, it could be many things. It could be him imagining this. It could be a memory of the past that he forgot. It could be a distant memory that he is going to get, or it could be totally fabricated, or it could be something that might happen, but not exactly. I also went back and I recapped myself yet again on the intimate history of Exandria, and I got a little better grasp of everything. I also looked in the comments. Alexandria Goff and Aaron Bourquet were the ones that I really focused in on because they had a lot, and it looked like, well, first off, I think Aaron was the first comment, or one of the first comments. Either way, everyone helped. There was a lot of helpful things, but those were 2 of the names that just stuck out in my mind. I want to try to give shout outs to people that do help, and I try to remember all the names I can. A lot of you are in the live streams. I saw a lot of you, McGuigan. I saw Callisto Warrior Queen. A lot of you guys I did see in the comments that also had helpful comments. We ended off on Abria. Her character's name is Leyrin Seeley, the ex-wife of Sam's character, which is Loquacious Seeley, who's very much like a Ruby Rod kind of character, is how I pictured him in my mind, even visually. And besides that, we got Xerxes, and we saw that. I'm assuming his son is dead, based on what we heard and we saw. But like I said, we really didn't talk to him or see him a whole lot more than that. He went out on the balcony. They're all in Avalier, I'm assuming. We have the waterfall. That is where Xerxes went onto the balcony. He's got Tempest, the amazing looking griffin, as far as I pictured it. And then we zipped off. But we also had what people were telling me might be Asmodeus, is how I'm thinking it's sounding, which is a betrayer god. And possibly I'm thinking, and it was also in the comments, but I was kind of on the same thought process. Why is Xerxes sitting in the palm of a betrayer god? And why is the Dawn Father, who I would imagine would be a positive good person thing, whatever the hell you call it? What is he, a god? I guess he's a god? Yes, he's a god. Either way, why would the Dawn Father be hammering down on this thing that I'm not sure who it is, but if it is Asmodeus, who is a betrayer god, why is Xerxes sitting in his hand and almost sort of having empathy? I don't know. Let's just jump in. I have a lot to watch. You guys want to see more of what I do? Full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons ahead of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you only see on Patreon. There are dozens of shows over on Patreon you'll never see on YouTube. I just don't have time to edit it all. Go check it out. That's where you get the hour-long Patreon exclusive for Campaign 2 and many other things. If not, Part 2 Episode 1, Exu Calamity.
Runs up.
Callum something.
My lady, sorry. And this is, of course, Callum Staffright.
Callum Staffright. This is where we left off. I put it back a little bit.
I've just come from the Grand Geometer.
Grand Geometer.
Tomorrow, the apogee solstice. We've known for some time it was going to be that the celestial solstice would in fact be
solstice.
Yes. Out all the way.
Sorry.
I'm not going to write down or take notes, guys, because it is probably more distracting than anything, so I'm just going to go with it.
You told us to alert you.
Cheers.
Should we receive a measurement above 0.025?
How high? I open it.
0.5.
0.5, that's double. No, wait, that's way higher. 0.025.
Oh, God.
That's 10 times. Wait, 10.
Okay. Great.
No, that's
Thank
like
you
20
so
times.
much.
20 times higher.
Yes.
Yeah. I will have other orders for you later. For now, I need you. Don't ruin this.
I don't know if
I have
she's
to go now.
just got no time for bullshit or she's a bitch. Not the actress, the character.
Elmer looks and says, "My lady."
Because she's going like, come on. I don't got time for this. I don't got time for small talk.
But
She could just be a busy lady.
ready.
Incredible.
You. Oh yeah. No, you fully mute and you can hear, hello, hello, hello.
Hi. Yes. Is there an important thing? Pleasantry. I'm excited. You're excited. It's gonna be fine. Is there anything else?
Landon,
Yes.
You know, if we
Layering.
don't have this relationship, we don't have to force it.
No,
And
I like you a lot.
I also like you. I like working with you, but you know,
There's
it's kind of hard to shoehorn the niceties in at the end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sort of like an
doing it now,
asterisk
it
in the
feels
text
like-
that goes to the footnote of how are you doing?
okay. I have to go.
Not, truly.
I
nothing
almost
but
feel like
respect.
they're
I actually
arguing
do.
in
I'm
real
so
life, and the
respectful.
subtitles are giving me their real names, so it's throwing me
Wait,
off.
Hey, listen.
I thought they were
We'll
legitimately
not
almost
have to
arguing.
try this thing.
Brennan literally looked like he was truly arguing.
We'll have a month and not have.
I
to
got like concerned.
Yes. Yeah. It'll be great. I gotta go.
Okay.
Oh.
I gotta go.
You say worries me.
I'm gonna hit the radiator, guys. Those of you who don't know what hitting the radiator means, you'll
And
find
I
out
hang up and I
in about 10 seconds.
You take up. Where's your first instinct to go in this moment?
I just need to get to private quarters. I need to spread this out and check it against my notes.
Okay. Would you stay here in the Meridian Labyrinth, or would you return to your quarters?
Of course.
You go up. There is a permanent gate somewhere that is keyed only to your official emblem as the Architect Arcane. You move through, appear back in your quarters. You're up in Gallimore. You spread this thing out. If you want to do a check about
That's
it, you
hitting
can
the
do a check
radiator.
about it. But
Yes, please.
Nice to get. I like to get nice and
Yeah, get
toasty
your
when I'm
Arcana.
sitting in for an hour watch.
10 is a 27.
Ooh,
27. We have still not met half the crew.
Feels good. It feels good.
I assume we're gonna meet half the crew in the
celestial
next
solstices
hour.
are a fact of life on Exandria. They are a part of the arcane and divine environment. Every
right.
20 or 30 years, one comes along, and the veil between realms becomes incredibly thin. About every 100, 120 years, you get what's called an apogee solstice.
Apogee
where
solstice.
The orbit of the spheres, the relationship of the moons of Exandria kick in, and everything aligns. And that veil becomes so thin that incredible workings of magic are possible.
Reminds me of
Now, you knew
Avatar.
that an apogee solstice was coming.
Avatar, how the alignment
The
helps with the
Grand
fire god.
Geometer specifically reads ley lines because it's been recorded in the history of Avalier, your city, your home, that some apogee solstices are powerful enough to shift ley lines, to take the arteries and veins of the magical workings of this world and reshape them. You reading the ancient lore
This is kind of like in
Avalor
Stranger Things right now
able
too,
to
with the ley
build
lines.
the grand geometer to measure the strength of a coming apogee solstice.
They were saying how
Based
like
on your
Hawking's
records,
was the
based
ley
on
lines for
effectively
electromagnetic activity.
arcane psychometry and the ability to read the power of other celestial solstices from runes and holy sites in your travels all over the world. Avalor, as you know, travels on the ley lines of Exandria, flying all over, trading with a host of cities and civilizations.
So that could all be altered. This
You
could
were able
greatly
to
alter it.
deduce that anything above a reading of 0.025 on the grand geometer would indicate that there would
change.
be some slight shifting.
So we got 20 times higher reading.
0.025. You're reading 0.5.
20 times, right? If my math is correct.
By herself in this moment,
So 0.025.
even as she's checking
A
against her
chance
notes
of a
and double
slight
checking
change.
because she
20
doesn't
times higher
trust other
chance of a
people,
slight change.
she's
It's still not
actively
overwhelmingly. I mean, that's a lot, but
towards this. For
I mean, that's to me not
And it's
devastating
both the
yet.
relief that
Maybe.
all of the things that she's sacrificed could be worth it for this one shot, and the terror that she has so little time.
I mean, to me, that's something
advantage
worth
of this
discussing, clearly. I'm not saying
tremendous
that's not a major event, but I feel like it's still not out of the realm of possibilities.
Laren is in a city.
Like,
of
look at the
wizards,
Chernobyl event.
often
That
the
was like
most cerebral
1,000 times
person.
over the radiation, and that was contained.
Weeping does not come often.
I mean,
There
it
have
was
not
horrible.
moments
People
like this
died
that
and everything,
deserved
but it wasn't like the end of the world,
In
is what
that
I'm saying.
moment, as you realize what is possible, a lion's head gargoyle on the door, little door knocker, goes, "Madam, your ex-husband is at the door."
I love it. Oh my God, what is that from? That's from a friggin' cartoon or show I used to watch. What had a talking doorknob?
throw open the door.
Alice in Wonderland had a talking doorknob. Is that what I'm thinking of?
My
Alice in...
darling.
No, I'm thinking of something else.
And I clock very quickly that we are super matching right now.
Super magic?
Hi, Quay.
Hi.
Hi.
You're home during the middle of the day. Don't you have a lot of stuff to do to land?
I do.
I'm assuming the ley
Oh,
lines
thank you so much. You
and
see,
the
I've been trying
ability to
reach you
amplify
through
magic
the
has something to
normal
do with
means, and seeing that
resurrecting
someone's been ignoring
gods and stuff.
someone else's. You know, when we separated, we said that we would try to remain friends, try to keep open, clear lines of communication. You know,
We are
see
a
each other
day
all the
out
time.
from the replenishment.
Yeah,
What
all the more
fucking
reason.
hairstyle
All the more
check do you
reason.
need from me? You look beautiful. What do you need? What do you need?
Well,
what do
thank you. Thank you.
Did they
I'm just
have
saying, we're gonna
interaction
be
before
down
this, the
there
two of
a
them,
lot,
as
probably mingling in the
exes?
same, with the same folks, glad handing with the same people.
People
down
in the
there.
comments said they're
If
totally
we
new
can't even
characters.
talk
But
amongst
were they allowed
ourselves, then
to
it's gonna be very
discuss
awkward
this
for us. It's gonna be very
pre-campaign,
awkward
or
for
this is
me, frankly,
total
having
blind?
to explain why there's this weird coldness in the room, and you know, I know that you're obsessed with your work.
social status my problem right now?
You don't have to.
You don't
Reply
have
to my
to.
messages.
The ones from Arya?
Arya.
Arya is just
The
my
assistant. Yeah, Arya the assistant. Oh, is something up
She's-
with Arya?
She's a fantastic assistant. She came highly recommended.
I'm sure she did.
She
Oh.
happens to be young. She happens to be attractive, but that goes with the territory. It has nothing to do with anything else.
Of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. You have my unadulterated attention.
Well,
right
that
now.
would make the
I
first
need to know
time I've
more.
ever-
I would. Oh. See, I don't know how to treat the situation. Is he a cheating player, or is there no reason to think that? I'm assuming he's probably cheated or something. Ex-wife.
You in between you, you see a momentary of paper as a little, and you look up and see the first of them approaching in the sky. The kites. You see spell kites.
What?
You hear cries and horn blasts. Behold, behold, Cathmora!
That's where we were headed.
And far off at the edge of the
Cathmora
horizon
was where we're heading.
is the base of a mountain. You can see from the beautiful front door that overlooks the descending city, Avalier built into the peak of a mountain, which was lifted by mages long past straight into the sky, and you behold a terrestrial city, Cathmoira, which Avalier, let's be clear, geographically got the way better deal here, because Avalier gets to be on a solid mountain peak, and Cathmoira
It's down
has
at
to
the
be a
bottom.
weird ring around a seat for the city to come back and land on. So Cathmoira is a ring of a city with a giant, 3-mile sort of just like runic
They basically got
flat
left behind.
with some like groove holes.
These are the
for stone
people that
walls
could not
come
get
into, like,
elevated
IKEA
to the
fits
sky.
the top of the city into. But you behold Cathmoira, and you see filling the sky in between you and Cathmoira in the distant horizon, still far, far off, a endless parade of spell kites.
What are spell kites?
Now that you've come close
Marisha
enough,
was quite
the
pleased
people
with it.
of
I don't
Cathmoira,
know what it is.
Families that have been apart from each other for 7 years, which is the circuit of time that Avalier travels Exandria and trade and amassing its great librarium incantatum.
I
and
also
trading for
made
secrets and gold all
a
across
vodka.
Exandria. It's come close enough
I don't know
that
what
the
you call
families
it,
there
but I put oranges in
can send
vodka.
their spell kites up, attached to beacon stones in different homes in Avalier. The kites seek them out, and the kites, brightly colored with long tails of paper.
I'm envisioning
carrying
this in my
baskets
head.
with baked goods and flowers that can grow in the earth below, not conjured magically, but real growing things. Come in a light, and in between the two of you, you see a kite coming to your home with your name on it.
In the moment that I see it's for you, I'm already back on my, I'm taking other calls.
Before you go, I don't want to leave it like this, all right?
What? Cheers. This is vodka with
Struck
oranges.
with the memory that the last time we landed the cities, that's when we got married.
I remember.
So,
I'm putting the rest of my Red Bull.
I don't know.
because it's
We were
really
okay
strong.
once, and maybe we can be again. Just for a moment, just for the month that we're docked, and then you can go back.
Just for a moment. They're playing music that's giving me hope. I'm gonna back up a little. Back it up. My daddy taught me good.
I will be on my best behavior.
All right, she doesn't seem like she's a biatch. See, before I wasn't sure if she was just. I'm not an asshole, but sometimes I don't have time for people that just. Sometimes people at work have a lot to say about a lot of nothing. So I'm just like, I'm sorry, I got things to do. It could be like that.
Members of the Herald's Tome stationed back in Cathmoira, and as we see the kites,
If I got
over
time,
Avalier,
I'll listen to whatever you gotta
so
say.
Very
But sometimes, and
many
most of the time, I'm in a
kites
rush.
begin to approach back at Excelsior Plaza, but not to the Herald's Tome.
Where are we going?
No, indeed. We find them going to the vault of the Golden Scythe.
Apparently, they know this. Golden,
Dance club, okay?
the vault.
No gold here, baby.
Oh my God! Travis just went to like another level.
Here in the vault,
I know exactly what he's
we
doing.
see
That's
countless
what he's
automata,
doing.
shouting silk-dressed sky pirates, it seems like almost. Proud merchants, barrels of summoning salt rolling, giant wheelbarrows full to the brim with diamonds, cut perfectly,
What?
wheeling throughout. Flowers, festivities. There is a bridled unicorn. And we see and all of this moves, and there is in the center of this chaos, this controlled chaos, this endless empire of arcane
Controlled
riches. We
chaos.
see a single
That was
man
used often.
at the helm, the ringmaster of a circus of impossible wealth. Lou, could you please describe your character?
Ringmaster of
Nidus
impossible.
is. I'm gonna look at
Nidus.
a picture of him because I always forget. Nidus is like kind of a stocky dude, like right.
I
around
have to look at a
5'10".
picture 'cause I forget. Don't admit
he
these
has,
things.
Long dreads, cuffed with gold that come and lay just on his shoulder, like wearing the red of the golden scythe. Like a red coat with a like gorgeous golden pin with the signature of the scythe, with a cape draped along
Nidus?
his back.
He said
wears
it
one of
before,
those
it's
funny,
Nidus?
like kind of Renaissance
Leonidas,
merchant's
like
cap,
Leonidas,
floppy
but
caps.
Nidus. Another
To one
300
side.
reference.
His face, long scar from his pirate days over his right eye. I know it's on my left, but I'm looking at a picture that's the reverse. So over his left, over his right eye.
The viewers are also looking at a
Yes.
flipped image.
Okay. Oh, is it flipped for them as well?
I think so.
I don't know. Anyway, over his right eye is a scar.
No, what is-
Over his
what?
left
Sam,
eye,
I
you
can
see
still
3
tell what's his
tattoos.
right and his-
He has tattoos.
Now
of
Sam's
X's. He's got
confusing me.
3, over his eye, a beard that ends in a golden ring, and then set. in
Oh,
his,
I thought that
face
was on
are,
his
2
shirt. Look
eyes
at that in the
of
picture.
hazel,
That's on his
flecked with
beard.
glitter
Oh,
and
it lit it
gold.
up. Look at that. It literally lit him up as he described it. I didn't notice that the first time. I got to realize that on the other descriptions, they are illuminating the things he describes. Or am I crazy? I could have sworn they were just. Maybe I'm insane.
You see Nidus in the center of this, wheelbarrows moving, barrels getting rolled up onto giant carol hulks that you built after all. And you look up and
You're welcome.
You're welcome. He's the builder of Carol Hulks.
You look up and see a massive golden statue of a roaring dragon, gilded to perfection, glowering over this entrance, the most massive central warehouse of your order. Next to you, wearing sort of dull red robes with a kind of classic, like sort of arithmeticians or like bookkeepers hat, sort of conical hat. With a sort of long beard, looking a little bit dusty, is Alessander Kairos, your chief bookkeeper. Sire, the word's come down from the magisterium. The need was for 200 bounded wands. It seems that we've already approved that, but 100 is already exceeding the budget we set forward at the beginning of the quarter.
Alessandro, it's the replenishment.
It's
the replenishment, Alessandro.
Guildmaster, if you ask me to keep these books, I shall keep them. But I remind you that the Golden Scythe is not a consortium of wizards. We are merchants. I cannot produce something from nothing.
We are a symbol of the riches of our city, right? And should we limit ourselves, we limit the potential of Avalier. So, Alessander, you're going to find me in your brilliance 100 more wands. I have no doubt.
I mean, that is how you talk to a
Perhaps I
man.
could reach out.
Yes, eh?
Yes, you could.
You can make something of nothing.
Friends
What
that
he's
be-
saying is, you have friends, you know people, make it appear, make it appear. What if I told you I'd give you a million
if you
pies? I wouldn't want a million
those-
pies.
The children will have to go. They will. If I move the wands from there and there.
We'll have a whole month to acquire new wands before the city sets
We'll
off.
just juggle around wands. We'll give
Alessandro, this is
take
not a
take
problem.
20 from
Worth
here and here and
dealing
here and
with.
here,
All right.
and then we'll
sorry,
replace them next
Guildmaster.
month, and then take them from
And
other
Alessandro,
places. We'll
do not
dig it. We'll
apologize.
figure it out.
These are the questions that need to be asked.
Yes.
However, they have solutions.
You see that over your shoulder, Daenerys, who is your chief arithmetician, leans over and says, "I believe actually our collection from the Circle of the Crescent Moon may actually, I believe that they have some wands on resource. So if we ask them to pay a portion of their contract, perhaps there's at a discount in wands. I believe that might make up the difference, Alessander."
Perfect. Alessander, Daenerys.
Yes.
Alessandro, Daenerys, you two talk, figure that out.
You hear a booming voice from across the
I would
hall,
imagine
again,
if this dude
moving through
is of
someone
this
who is leading
level,
a very there's a full
he's earned
sphinx,
it.
a like winged lion with a man's face walking.
This is our. Are we putting on the parade of beasts?
You are, of course, the Golden Scythe is putting on the parade of beasts. The Sphinx walks up and says, hello, I understand that I've been brought here for the parade of beasts. I am, of course, a speaking and thinking creature.
Okay, the parade of
We completely
beasts.
understand. The title Parade of Beasts is archaic in many ways. From a time when the riches of Avalier were not so that we would be graced by the presence of one such as yourself. Great.
So this dude is basically a king of bullshit.
Pharaoh.
I mean, he seems like a cool dude,
Great Pharaoh.
but he just is a talker.
You see, he says, I was instructed that you just needed me to roar. I can say.
I mean, he's basically a politician.
Should anyone converse with you, I feel you should feel more than welcome to speak. However, we thought it might be easier for you should you just give an enormous roar from deep within.
It's quite all right. The scythe has saved my maze and repelled a number of monsters from my home. So I owe you a great. I owe you. Are you unaware that?
No, I'm
sorry.
very aware and
No, I'm-
thrilled that you're here to give back to an order that's given so much to you.
You're the sailor and marines of the Harvest Moon. Your merchant company. They saved the enchanted glade in which my maze can be found, and and I said I owed them a boon, thinking that I might, in a time of need, come to their rescue. And they said, are you free on this date for the parade of beasts?
And what ease it is for you that you need not give of yourself.
I don't
in
know
any
if
way.
the guy
All
is
you simply
super
ask
excited because it's his first
parade.
campaign, or that is his character.
That's it.
Yeah.
But I think that's his character.
I guess that's-
He's just like, yes, 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 okay. It's like he can't let the
What
guy
is your name
talk.
again?
But I think that's the point.
Ferromine.
Ferromine?
Ferromine.
You need to get, can you go ahead and get with Alessander, and then the two of you just talk, and I'm going to keep on moving.
You see that Alexander says, how much do we owe you for your service? And he says, no, it's a
It's a boon! It's a boon!
My God. As he's running away.
As you walk forward, you see, you hear off like.
See, you can't just blow people off.
And you see the captain of your Sailor Marines, Captain Badran Esperad, walk up and say, "There's the Guildmaster himself, the Dragon of Avalier."
Captain Badran, and I think we'll do a nice classic forearm.
Predator.
Yes, beautiful.
Predator forearm shake.
You see, he says, there are some friends here to help in tonight's celebration, and I promised they'd be able to meet you. Children, if you'd be so kind, this is the founder of the feast and the creator of the Sorcerer's University. And you see there are a number of sorceress youths from all over Exandria. You see they're up in robes of gold, standing there. Some of them have scintillating dragon scales, some crackle with electricity. These are sorceress children. They're children that have manifested a connection innately to magic. And they line up in these robes and go, "Thank you, Guildmaster Nidus Okiro.
Very
for
scripted.
Creating the Sorcerer's University so that we could study magic." Dude, and now do. And you see that the trunk, and they create a roaring dragon that moves for tonight's fireworks extravaganza. These kids have already learned how to. They're like
disjointed.
so
It comes apart at one point.
Nidus Okira.
In ages long past,
Founder?
the wizards of Avalier defeated.
Children. And I'm going to kneel down. That was spectacular. You are all going to do
He cut the children off.
fantastic job at tonight's event.
The little kid that you're sort of that's nearest to you looks up, and he looks at you and he says, "Is it true that you're a little bit of dragon too?"
Yes.
I say,
of course.
only in name, child. And then I'm gonna cast.
Fireball. I'm gonna cast fireball on the child.
Too many spells. I'm going through too much stuff and I can't find what I want. I actually don't think I have anything. But
He had something in mind. I'm
I do
curious.
want to just breathe a little smoke out of my nose. If you'll just let me do that.
Yeah, you're a dragon sorcerer.
Okay,
yeah,
great. I'll
absolutely.
do a little bit. Yeah.
You're a
I see the
dragon
kids
sorcerer.
just immediately go berserk and just and they run off. And you hear one older kid be like, "I told you so," and they scatter off.
He's a dragon
Badron smiles
sorcerer?
and
I don't know
says,
if that was said.
"Good eggs." No pun intended, gesturing to the dragon up above.
Of course.
He looks at you and says,
Badron, I
"So
like that
wanted
name.
To touch base as well. The children wanted to see you. They're very excited for the fireworks extravaganza.
We're about halfway, I think.
Went to go get the actual payment for the Stormbringers. They helped us on that thing on the coast of Isilra.
Oh, of course.
And I was told that we needed to forestall their payment by some time. Is that true?
Just for through the replenishment. By the time we are back in the air, everything will be in order.
All right.
Can you stop? You can hold. It's just through until we're back in the air.
Yeah. Well, if that's what it is, that's what it is. I mean, there's nothing they can do if they're told to wait, they will wait. It's just that the business there is not completely resolved. So
So
it's
it
nice
could
to be able
make-
to use them again. Do they have to wait the entire month while we're terrestrial, or?
I mean, hopefully, once certain debts are paid, given after this,
We have
upon
no
our
idea.
return, certain debts will be paid.
And
which will
all
make
I've
the
seen this
coffers,
guy
which
do
will,
is
free things
make
up. But right now,
talk at this point.
Badron, I really, we need to keep this one on hold.
So far, every conversation
You have the vision.
Nidus has had has been make it happen.
conversations.
Don't worry about it. Make it happen. Don't worry about it. Make it happen.
He heads off. Where does Nidus move now? You think like this?
Nidus is either just so
I
like
think,
clockwork that business runs
would
as
Nidus
usual,
know that,
or
kites are coming.
shit's about to
Yes,
hit the fan
I would
5
move,
different ways.
To find, I would be looking for the one from my brother.
You go up to your office and see the kite tapping gently against the window.
Hello, friend.
So they get packages. We already
It opens
saw.
up. You see
Loquacious
your
had
brother
one.
Edilus, his script on a letter. His wife Irme's incredible sort of nut and fruit loaf. This like ground-based something like home cooking that you haven't had in so long.
This loaf. This beautiful loaf.
Beautiful loaf.
This is gorgeous. Titus is just holding a loaf.
My loaf. My loaf.
You see
that important.
it's a short
sun
letter.
got hidden
and
by
you
the
see it
rain, so
says,
I have to readjust the light.
Underneath it says, "Even dragons have to land. There will be a table set for you when you get here, brother."
Oh, isn't that nice?
Hallmark card.
Truly. I think Nidus takes a moment, cuts just the notch of the bread, as it'll likely be some of the only food he gets to eat today. Noshes on it, and then
Without fail, as you say that, you get a bite in, and there's a knock at the door. You see.
Obviously, he's a busy
that-
man, so he's probably got to
Alistair
stop every
enters
5
and says,
seconds.
My lord.
But it always seems like everyone's got like an issue.
Magister
I mean,
Milas Fren is here to speak with you. If you're busy, I don't have to let him in. But if you wish,
oh no. With the replenishment coming up, I don't want anyone to feel ignored.
is this
Who
possibly?
is this man?
give me a history check.
Who is this man?
Is it Ford or something? Yeah, who is this man?
Is it on our
We still got to meet
20-page
Ford,
lore doc?
Travis, and
17.
Marisha.
17. I mean, he's a magister, but truly to you, this is a nobody.
Got it.
You see a reedy.
Oh, can I say one more thing,
Yes.
Alistair?
Yeah.
I say, if this doesn't seem to be that important, 30 seconds in, I need a call.
Yeah, very well. Of course. Alistair
Just
steps
in
out,
case.
and you see
It's
that
like getting
reedy,
an out
kind of
on a blind date.
sallow-faced Archmage steps in. This is a member of the Magisterium. And you see he comes in and says, Guildmaster.
Magister.
On such a busy day, I do appreciate. I am so sorry that time has worked out that I must bother you on such a busy occasion.
Oh, think nothing of it.
But I've heard you might be the man to come talk to. I have heard some rumors about some movement in some of the upper echelons, and I'm looking to see if I might be able to be a welcome hand to those in need, as I owe some favors to some friends of mine higher up near the Arch Sept, you understand. And I've heard that when it comes to the replenishment, that
was quite
sometimes
delicious. Red Bull
there's,
vodka and
the
oranges.
auxiliary batteries have been lit up, and it seems that there might be a surplus of ether this year. And I was wondering if you were the man to come and speak to you about that.
Are you the ether man?
On a 17 history, you don't like that this guy...
This is too low.
Yeah, too low for you to notice. And too low for this guy to have... to be talking this openly about something like this.
Magister, I do not know to whom you speak, who felt so comfortably embracing rumor as if it were fact. But this is not the case, and you have come to the wrong person. I would ask that you excuse me, as I have much to do with regard to the replenishment.
Alistair opens the door and says, Guildmaster, the Sphinx is pitching alts on his roar.
That was the 30-second warning or call, I guess, whatever you said.
Oh my god.
Well, we really need to nail this down. Talent.
Talent.
Have a lovely day, Magister.
He looks, and you see Alistair, Captain Esperod steps in and says, Magister, right this way, and moves him on out of there.
Was that I mean, I feel like that's going to have significance
What the
later.
fuck?
Yeah.
Is he actually doing that? Is the Sphinx actually pitching alts
No.
on his roar, or was that your creative solution?
No, that was my creative solution.
Alistair.
The Sphinx is actually just sort of sulking in a corner.
Well, that's more of a problem.
Oh, sorry, I just thought he just seemed...
Do you have some ideas for alts on a roar? Could that,
All glory to Avalon?
oh, that he would yell that instead of roaring.
Maybe he could do both. I don't know. It's a long parade.
Oh, honestly, Alexander, I'm sorry for shooting this down. This is good. Let's go talk to that
Oh, I thought it
Sphinx.
was Alistair. It's Alisander. Alistair.
We move
Alisander.
from the golden scythe.
Move from the golden scythe. All right, I'm digging that. Lou finally came in. Lou as
I'm gonna
Nidus.
press
Nidus?
buttons.
Remember
Oh, Kiro?
the scariest thing in the whole world?
Alisander. The golden scythe.
Happy we all are.
I'm trying to remember things.
The sun without eyes.
The girl was getting real fast. But at least we laugh.
Sun was fishing in space. It's cool.
What do we got here? It's 128. I think the first break.
I didn't betray nobody. No,
Is that like
We're fine. This is great.
210?
We're doing great.
Like
We won't die won't happen.
212. So we got about we still got 40
from the
40
golden
something
scythe.
minutes.
And once again begin to shift back towards a neighborhood that we haven't really explored.
I can't imagine we wouldn't visit everybody before the break.
We go now past Excelsior Plaza all the way to Cloudstone. We
Cloudstone.
have seen so far that the
I feel like I might have heard of
Tower of the
Cloudstone,
Night.
but I don't know.
We go deeper. Massive marble building. The footsteps. People echo off of cold stone. And we see
Coldstone.
an emblem up above of a massive eye with a slitted pupil overhead. The people who move in this place are not wearing robes. And they do not carry orbs nor staves nor wands,
Abria
but
looks
instead
very
weaponry.
pleased.
This place does not hum with magic, but instead, a cold and silent somberness fills the air here. This is a place of sharp clarity. Through the echoing halls,
I feel like it's Marisha.
an assortment of, well, I suppose we might call them rogues, but there is not very much roguish about them. They wear rings.
I feel like Travis is way too into the explanation for it to be him.
And we see one such member walking down a corridor, flanked by some attendants. Guardian
Marisha.
of the Seventh, senior sight warden of the Eyes of Avalier. Travis, did you describe your
No
character?
way. Damn it, I'm totally wrong. Travis looked
You
too
see,
locked in for it to be
Standing
him.
tall, but with a cloak and a hood pulled up just behind his feathered head. A 6.5 foot tall
Oh, let me see a picture.
Ice Fura. So
Ice
a
Fura.
bird person, if you will.
Bird
with
person.
Very white feathering that falls into brown tips. A dark beak with slightly gray, slightly bluish eyes.
How do you pronounce that?
Proud,
Sirit?
strong shoulders, strong wings.
It's either
tucked
Sirit
back,
or
but very
Sirit.
folded back beneath a cloak, and a badge of some sort that's just slightly hidden on his person.
I see it over there, slightly
His
hidden.
arms sort
Oh,
of
it's
tucked in tight,
illuminating.
only to
They
if
are
for no other
illuminating
reason than
it.
to hide the double holstered hand axes that are underneath his arm, and wraps
Hand
around
axes, light 'em up for
his
me. See, there it
wrists
goes.
and his
Lights 'em
taloned
up.
Fingers and feet as he moves along, and this is Seret
Seret.
Grupnan.
Agropnin. Seret Agropnin.
Seret Agrupnan walks.
Seret.
A
Seret.
mode of transportation.
Like a ferret.
that's not
Seret the ferret.
primary.
I am
Even
using
but
word
through these
association.
halls with all of these
He's not a ferret,
terrestrial
obviously.
folks, even in this skyborn city. You walk into a chamber carved of a single piece of marble. It's about 40 feet by 40 feet. The ceiling's about 30 feet tall. One wall in the marble is carved with pure force. As you walk in,
My
you
God,
see
that was
that there
good.
are a collection of,
Dead bodies.
some of them might be
Heads.
artifacts
Human
or
heads.
magical items. Many of them are just debris and bric-a-brac. There's like a partially
Bric-a-brac.
sort of ruined carpet. And they're floating in this pure white marble
Bric-a-brac.
room. As you walk in with your attendants, they stop at the beginning, and you see a burly, leather-clad half-orc
How funny is that?
with a big old tusk coming out. The other one got chopped off some time ago. But you see he's got his hair kind of pulled back into a long
I dig it,
ponytail,
because that is
leather
what
cord
Travis
wrapped
is in
around.
campaign too.
Looks back and he goes, "Oh, Pinch, how the hell are you?"
I'm good. It's good to see you, Arwen.
"Well, you ready for this? I mean, I don't know how much the boys are going to be able to do." You see that there's some sort of figures that are partially
That voice
concealed behind
sounds
that
so familiar.
force, that sort of window of force. They go up, and you see that one of them presses a button and projects a voice using magic into the space and says, "Site Warden, we're ready whenever you are, so just give us the signal and we'll activate the chamber."
Always got to make them wait. Understand? Do things on your own time.
Look at him. Oh my
Looks at
God.
you
Look
and
at
says,
Travis.
Yeah, the kids, the eggheads in there, yeah, I like that. How's the missus doing, by the way? You got to come by and have dinner sometime.
Who's he
I
trying to
appreciate
sound
that.
like? He
It's,
sounds like
a
somebody
little busy at the
famous.
house. We'll take
Almost
you up on
like
that. You seem to
Louis,
have gotten there for me. Anything I need to know before we begin?
Well, this is basically the debris. So,
He is sounding like
we were parked over
comedian.
Vasselheim for about 10 days. We're there trading, last port of call before coming home.
oh my God, I can't think of the comedian's
taking
name.
off from the Silro,
Crazy
flying
comedian
straight
guy
here.
from Back to School.
While we were there, we get reports from the constabulary in Vasselheim that the Archmage Vespin Chloris...
He's definitely doing an impersonation of him. I have to look it up or I'm going to go crazy. Oh my god, what the hell is his
Archmage Vespin
name?
Chloris is gone missing. We didn't think anything of it, you know.
The voice. Oh my god, we didn't think anything of
Basically,
it.
The only reason we heard either tail of it is that the people there were worried that he was doing some...
Sam
heresy.
Kinison. He's doing Sam Kinison.
Doing something against the gods.
I had to look up Back to School.
So, what we did then is, you know, they say, hey, did this guy do anything, and is he stowing away aboard the city and about to take off? So we did a sweep. We said, no, Vespin Chloris is not stowed away. But, you know, even if he was, we're not going to answer to you're not going to extradite the guy, so...
No trace of him, just vanished into thin air.
Vespin Chloris.
Well...
That name
That's what we've been
was
getting
told
the
to
chamber
me.
ready for. I mean, we took a quick look at his chambers. No hide nor hair of him. I mean, the rumor is he was trying to recreate the matron's ritual.
Another one of those, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, every two-bit sorcerer edge maze pops up with their body.
This is the
scattered
one-
in a miasma
I'm
of
pretty
their
sure
own
this name
goo,
came up
trying to
in
name
my
check some
homework.
prime deity. Comes in here, nothing more than a stain. But you know, this it looks like this Joker did it so bad that they didn't even leave a hair or a fingernail. I mean, there's nothing left of the guy.
I mean, I appreciate you having me in here, but this seems like something you would be able to dismiss on your own. What makes this any different than the other?
Well,
Cheers
we
again,
did dismiss it,
lords and ladies.
Then they wanted to get rid of a bunch of this, which is what opens this can of worms up. So you see, he looks over and says, "This bric-a-brac, all this magical nonsense from his chambers, his sanctum, this made it aboard Avalier, and it was headed for the arcane furnace. It was going to get disenchanted, broken down, and added to the etheric net. You know, so we
The
can come back
Ethernet, I thought it said.
and dump all the ether into the ground and replenish the continent of Dominus. But, you know, we grabbed it out of the line because, you know, we got word from, I think, someone came down. Hey, Costello, where did we get that? And you see,
Costello?
he looks over, and you see, he says, member of the Ring of Silver came down and told us we needed to pull it.
Ring of silver, you say?
Yeah.
Ring of
Said it
Silver.
was of academic importance. Something
Is
like that.
Travis doing a character? I mean, I know he's
You
doing a
you did
character,
the
but
right thing in involving.
I almost feel like he's
rats,
acting
you
like
see.
somebody.
Let's see what we have, shall we?
All right, boys, light her up. And you see, the psychometric chamber.
Almost like
in the
Liam
center
Neeson or
of the
something.
Hall of Eyes alights, and rendered in perfect detail, not using illusion, which you would detect, but using pure transmutation, recreates from stone the sanctum of Vespin Chloris.
You're in a different movie than the rest of us.
Not an
As
illusion.
this happens, as he's done dozens of times before,
Vespin
you see
Chloros.
his arms fall to his side, his irises open wide, and all the feathers on the back and top of his head stand up tall.
Love it.
Full crest.
As you begin to do your thing, Orem keeps talking, knowing that this is such second nature to you that you can split your focus easily. He looks out and says, yeah, well, you know, we had a squad teleport back when we were over the ocean, and they got back. He's still not back there, so Porter's Guild's not happy that we're holding on to this stuff with the whole Great Registry and everything, and the fact that there's no guild master for them right now, that the election's been postponed, so, you know.
He is channeling his inner Sam Kinison. That cannot be an accident.
He's just moving slowly around the room as this happens. Holy shit.
Natural
31.
Natural 20.
Level 14.
There it is. There it is.
for those at home, in the general breakdown of difficulty classes of DCs, 30 is the top success level that they list. They don't list any higher than 30. You're looking around.
So he just achieved beyond
chamber
the highest.
shifts, stone grows, shifts, and you are looking at the sanctum, and as you are looking at it, a series of controls opens up around you. You see these little glyphs. You know that one of them you can shift to move the sanctum backwards through time.
So we can
way
see,
this
like-
magic works is it is the memory
That's what I
of
figured.
the objects in the space.
But it's
So
real. You can interact
you
with
have
it.
a recording of what the objects remember. Unfortunately, the way the psychometric chamber works is
can't go in it.
These objects don't record the passage of beings. They don't record like organic creatures. They just record other inanimate objects. So, but you can move through time. You can move through day and night. You can see different states that the sanctum was in. And another one allows you to actually like zoom in.
So you can't
almost
like
like
actually interact with it, I'd assume. They're not saying that. I'm
that's for
assuming it's
people
just
that are
visual. All right.
As you look in, you see Orem goes, so, you know, I mean, we're holding on to this stuff for academic concern. I mean, what do you think? You think the guy actually did the damn thing? I feel like I read in my history books that when
Sam
the nature of the
Kinison
ravens
is amazing,
descended,
and it sounds so
it was
much
pretty
like him. I
clear
love
there
it.
was a new god of death. I mean, people knew about it. I think we would have heard as a new god of jerking off or whatever this guy did. We know. Your attention is drawn to this sanctum is windowless. It is cold and austere. There are some candelabras. There are a lot of writings here on some of the objects, glyphs that you recognize as celestial, some you recognize as infernal.
The music is kind of getting
You
darker.
see something on the floor. It's badly rusted or corroded. It's like an old piece of metal. It's maybe about a foot and a half long. It's got like
Patina.
this patina of corrosion on it, but your eye moves to it. And as you examine it, you realize that this is something disenchanted, and it used to be much larger. On a 31, you see a little glyph hover in the air next to you, with a library from the symbol of the Librarium Incantatum opens up, and you see the ability to move through like all recorded artifacts, magical items, everything Avalier's ever come into contact with, like appears before you. But you're looking at this thing, and you feel like looking at the corrosion on it, it used to be much bigger. This is a fragment left of something that wasn't just like broken or shattered, it was like almost rusted away instantaneously.
Is the shape familiar with anything I've held before? Is it a fragment or a piece, or does it look whole?
Thinking of it as a fragment, you recognize the curvature of the end of it starts to curl back, and you think you're looking at a part of a bow.
Bow.
And as you think of that, you see that Orem comes over and says, "What do you got there? What are you looking at, Pinch?"
Pinch.
Unless my ears haven't served.
Did he explain why he's called
dealing with a
Pinch?
piece of a weapon.
As you do
He's
that,
good
you see
in a
that the glyph
pinch.
next to you zeroes in, and you begin to look. As you begin to like hold it in your hand, this like dull, inert, non-magical metal. You look really closely and see that the corrosion comes from a disenchantment. Now, this is where your impossible investigation skills and also your proficiency with arcana and magical workings, most of the disenchantments you come across work in a spell casting way in which the thing that was being disenchanted was targeted. As a result, when something corrodes or is disenchanted, it tends to have a pattern in the patina that is left on it that starts at a center and moves outward, right? That like a wizard in a dispelling check will name something and break it. Now, already, to disenchant a magical item, we're talking about 9th level magic. You're talking about really.
I see.
rare stuff,
That to
even in the
me,
Age
you
of
guys
Iron.
told me this is high level stuff. They're at level
This
14. Most
doesn't
cap
have
out at
that
20.
pattern
I
to
heard
it. You're
people
looking
say.
almost at like the how you-
Around, give or
forensically,
take.
how you would look at something and say, okay, if this.
But
if
he's
this was
acting like
targeted
9 is
to
high
be
level.
Disenchanted, it would start at a center point and move out. Everything here has the same grain to it, which means that some energy came into a space and exploded or moved outwards and was able to indiscriminately disenchant a magical object.
Along with everything else.
As you look on that 31, you look and see marks on the ground of a summoning circle that has been completely eradicated. That something was supposed to be bound here. And the thing that was supposed to be bound so wildly and easily escaped those bounds that it erased any obvious trace of the
What?
summoning circle. You don't even think the other guys that have come in here already, you don't think Orin can see it, you don't think anyone else can see it, but you're looking and see traces. There's no recollection of what the runes even would have been, but you just see from the spacing. You're like, yep, that's a 16-point circle, that's the corners, it's oriented with the largest rune being due north. This is a summoning circle that's been erased.
So it isn't a question, okay? But I mean, it still doesn't give me any
I'm betting
answers.
balls to bone.
Balls to bone.
This is not your standard fare. No.
Yes. Well, so some kind of this guy tried to
Call it.
something up and got the better of him. I mean, they said he was working on, what they're all working on. He said he was trying to crack godhood.
Right. How many other people besides you and I are privy to the details of this room? You working with anybody else, sharing information? Anybody sponsoring this for you?
Well, the boys know that we're doing it, but this is the first time they've turned it on, so no one else has seen this.
I'm gonna need
That
you to
we
go
know.
lock this down for the next hour or so. I want a full detailed record of everything in this room. I want a catalog and I want it sent to my office, just you and me.
Give me, are you trying to keep this, like, how much are you keying Orem into how concerned you are? Do you want him to be, like, keyed into this, or are you trying to keep a little bit of a veneer up?
I'm keeping a little bit of a veneer, but I also don't want him to be careless.
Yeah,
Give me
he
a
needs to
perception check
understand
just
what
to-
it
just to
is.
Keep, like,
You need to understand or have your guy understand what the severity.
15.
Keeping a secret,
Orem
yeah.
goes, you got it. We'll get a record of it. We'll send it over, and we'll scrub the copies on our end. They'll just be sitting on your desk.
I would appreciate that.
He points to the thing in your hand and says, do you want us to enter that into evidence, or?
No, let me run this by a couple of friends I have.
You hold on to it. You look back.
Sam Kinison seems pretty
the
awesome.
Circle.
I don't know if I can try.
Totally gone. There's no telling what the runes could have been. There's nothing left. You've seen a lot of people who attempted something stupid, and there's almost always a testament, something left about a body, a mistake. It's so empty. You walk away. But I'll tell you where's not empty.
We're going on to Marisha. That might be it for Travis. I mean, I think we only got about 20 minutes left, give or take.
We transition from this place to the
Sit up
heights, and I
and get
think we
some
all know
new.
exactly where we're going.
I don't know what Marisha is.
We're going to the very top, the summit of Avalier. And as
What is she
going
gonna
to
be? We got all sorts right now.
We see the Arch Sept, home of the Septarian, the 7 highest archmages of Avalier.
See, do they know, like, sort of what she is, or are they totally
Grand
blindsided right
central
now?
dome at the base of the arch sept, where outside the great staircase leads up to the halls of the Septarian, the eldest and most powerful wizards of Avalier. We see a 100-foot tall statue, a colossus, of a beautiful elven man, carved in marble, his long hair behind him, Ymir the Bold. He stands reaching up to the very heights of the dome itself, looking down at his outstretched hand. Circling above his hand, levitating some 20 feet above it,
Marisha.
is the city of Avalier.
Damn it.
In
Oh.
miniature.
Oh.
Miniature, of course, it still being some 20 feet wide and 20 feet tall.
Pretty awesome.
At the base of the statue of this ancient and powerful elven wizard, Ymir the Bold, whose great magic lifted the city of Avalier from its terrestrial constraints, forever sundering Toromunda into its component cities of Avalier and Cathmoira. Ymir Porco, great wizard and first of the Septarian. At the feet of Ymir Porco, who do we find, Marisha?
Here it is. I love to see what they look like.
You see a middle-aged, although you wouldn't be able to tell,
Elvish.
elven woman, clear ivory skin with hair that is silvery white,
Patea?
almost reflects the sky
Patea?
around her. She has a long kind of collared breasted coat over top that stretches down like a gown in an emerald green that almost has its own silken sheen to it, with a kind of teal blue indigo name your color dress depending on how it hits the light underneath. In her hair she has this almost like a sun ray fascinator made of gold, where pieces of her hair are falling through it, and around her neck is a rigid golden ring. If you look closely at it, it has tiny blue crystals, almost like tiny Swarovskis, that are broomstone, and it lightly levitates and rotates and spins around her at all time, as well as a orb, a glowing orb.
Oh, it is an
Her
orb.
focus.
I was gonna
Also
say
just kind of hovers almost
around it like a
celestial,
moon.
planetary
Yeah, like a
in
planetary.
nature. She looks as if the outfit was made for her this morning, because it probably was. Her makeup is impeccable. She is the most put together woman you have ever seen in your life. And she looks up and she just goes, "Happy replenishing, grandfather."
Ah, all right.
Massive statue of your grandfather smiles knowingly, his gaze eternally fixed upon the city that he raised into the sky. The very top of the
All right, so
staircase,
she is
spiraling
probably
around
the
dome.
oldest and most
A wall
high
seamless
standing
changes and swirls
Literally
with magic
and
energy as a
politically.
door appears. Paisha,
Patient.
you're here to meet Loris of the Weaver's Mask, a member of the Ring of Gold. Those 14 wizards, apprentices of the Septarian, who command respect second only to the 7 archmages that rule the city itself. Loris of the Weaver's Mask commands respect and status by virtue of being an apprentice to one of these archmages. And you've come here to meet him on the day of the replenishing here in the Arch Sept, one of the few people who even is allowed to walk within this place. This is a magocratic society. This is not open to the public. But you are not the public.
You are amazing.
As Keeper of Scrolls, you find yourself welcome here. But of course, not every Keeper of the Scrolls has been. No. That position has an extra meaning in subtle and clever hands. The door opens, Loris steps out.
Keeper of Scrolls.
And is accompanied by a second figure. And I'm going to need to know your reaction when you see the gleaming visage of Eldamir the Wise, one of the 7 of the Septarian, one of the true 7, steps out and begins to descend the staircase.
So this dude is like top level. 7, literally like one of the highest 7
all of
ever.
The cool. She does not show it on her face. In the back of her head, there's a little twinge of her wondering, what is he doing here?
Has she met him before?
Never show it on her face, except for maybe the ever slight tilt of an eyebrow.
Loris, the apprentice.
I don't even know if you should show that. I would show no weakness. I'd be like solid.
Raven-haired elven man who wears a partial mask over his face. His cloak is of red and green and gold and purple, carved many bright colors.
Red and green and gold and purple. My God, we're all over the place.
Trailing from them, fading translucently into magic. The arcane power commanded by Loris is overshadowed
The sun keeps going
by
up and
almost
down.
no one, with the exception of Eldamir the Wise. Eldamir has
the
sat on
Wise.
the council since the beginning of Avalier.
So this dude's like
It is rare
probably
to see
like
an
around
ancient
15
elf,
years
but
old.
you see, slightly bowed with age, wearing a shimmering golden cloak that appears to offer little glimmering crystals of golden light that shimmer in geometric shapes and turn into motes and float away. A face illuminated by its own wisdom and counsel. The eyes of Eldamir are soft and smiling, and he leans upon a wooden staff that he has wielded for centuries.
Your Eminence.
Keeper, it is a pleasure to meet you here in this place.
The pleasure is mine. What
He's got great voices.
do
I give it
with
to him.
pleasure?
The dude has got
You see
energy.
Loris says, the great Archmage Eldamir the Wise.
Cheers,
wished
last
to meet
drink.
you face to face, my good friend. You see, Eldamir says,
I did wish to meet you face to face. I was told, word reached my ear, high up though I am, I still see much, that the record has been set that the Librarium Incantatum, under its current Keeper of Scrolls, has bested the previous record for magical knowledge gained in a single venture. And I asked
Breaking
to
records.
whom the young Archmage Porco had wrested
Porco?
this title, and I was informed she had wrested it from herself, who had set the previous record.
So she is quite good at her job.
An honor to hear that my
The granddaughter
exploits have
of-
reached your ears.
What was it? Amor? The Bold?
Of course, I wished only to see you.
Amar?
How do you... Oh! I didn't think of where we would meet. Your grandfather, Amir.
Amir. All right, it's Amir.
Hey, when I was a young lad...
We were friends?
I saw him and thought, there is wizardry itself.
Oh.
The sheer brilliance, the sight, the vision.
I thought maybe they were
Go
like
to
old
The
friends.
druids of old Toramunda, those old Gaudrashari, and to say to them, well, you listen here, you might be able to turn into a bear, but so what? I was going to take the city to the sky, and he wrestled with them. He did, and they said, "You're not going to split the city in half." And he said, "There's more brimstone." Did you know that the veins?
All right,
of
he's lost it.
brimstone set into
He's
a
all over the
sculpture.
place, but I dig it.
Perfect to the millimeter, with the veins of brimstone in the base of the city itself. It is a perfect replica.
You know, I did, but
Well
I
then.
never tire of hearing of it or your stories.
I don't either. I would listen to this guy all night.
Myself. Oh, here's a story you won't have heard, and I'll tell this.
I
and
feel like
it's a
this dude
little
never
story.
finishes a story, though.
Please, I have all the time.
They,
He forgot. See, he forgot.
Are you all right? Do you need to sit down?
yeah.
Are you all right?
I would have immediately been like, that was a great story. Well, no, I would want to.
There it is. Oh, well. All I wish to say was, oh, your grandfather, Amir, poor
Amir.
they made this statue, and the original artist, he was going to be lifting the city aloft, and in the structure that he made, they had a small miniature version. This was centuries ago, and they had a small miniature version, and they lifted it up, and they said, "Well, put it in the dome." And he said, "So what? Everyone standing on the floor is going to see the bottom of my chin, looking up at the city up here. It's the most unflattering angle I've ever heard of." He said, "The city should be down here so that people on the ground can see my face looking down at the city."
That made perfect sense. That honestly made perfect sense. Hilariously
That's
done.
exactly the word.
The dude's
Loris,
old
you would be so kind
and
to
excited
speak
and forgetful if
the Keeper of
not.
Scrolls. There are some matters of perspective, and I'm very interested to know what, on this, the eve of the replenishment, what you see as the future of Avali. How does the day strike you, my lady?
Oh, goodness, that is quite the question, but I believe deeply in me and my fellow compatriots and our dreams of Avalier and continuing to set the reputation of the forefront of the Age of Arcanum. We will always be first and foremost. That is my goal and destiny.
Destiny.
I dig her.
Yes.
She seems very
Single
prim and
golden
proper,
tear
but not a
comes to the corner of his
biatch,
eye.
not.
Says, we live in an age where we now know that we may write our own destiny.
Absolutely.
I dig this dude.
Loris, talk to her about what we, talk to her.
A
And
lot
you
has
see,
been
he says,
spewed at us, guys. I'm going to go over it in the recap. I feel like we're
Permission to
ending
Keeper of Scrolls.
soon. Keeper of Scrolls.
He vanishes from this place. Loris turns to you. Sorry for the surprise.
I'm never surprised.
It's this uncanny resolve you possess that means that we have some conversations to hold. My counterpart, the other apprentice of Eldamir the Wise, Volusia of the Heart's Emblem.
Volusia?
Volusia of the Heart's
you see, he
Emblem.
leans in and says, Volusia. Volusia has announced her intention to retire. And an apprentice's seat will be opening in the Ring of Gold.
Oh.
In the Ring of Gold.
That is correct. She has announced her intention to return to Kael Moro in Marquette. There to
Move on.
I couldn't tell you.
She's going to take the
She wants
boat
to go to Marquette.
with
She's
Frodo.
grown weary of the sky, she says, and wishes for the company of other elves. She, I don't know, wants to build a tower. Perhaps she's
Done.
tired of being a medium fish.
Medium fish.
Well, I'm not sure what good it is to be a larger fish in a puddle.
That's because I'm talking to a shark.
Oh, look at that. He just considered her position a
I'm
small
mentioning this
fish.
to you, and I'll let your imagination do the rest. But there are concerns that Eldamir the Wise has, and they're very
Lost it.
real concerns.
Lost his shit.
The amelioration of these concerns would be of the utmost comfort to my mentor and master. We have word that Aor may be preparing an attack on Lathras. You know Lathras is one of the smaller flying cities.
Aor, Lathras, hit the radiators. We're almost done.
The usual something or other about war. Our understanding at the moment is that it's to test something. There's no actual threat that Lathras poses. It's a dry run of something that they might intend to use elsewhere. The time has come for us to make good on the scurrying that I know this, what do you all call it? The ring of brass?
Yes.
You see, if you have something up your sleeve, Pesha, now might be the time.
There's so many things, guys. Ring of brass, ring of gold.
Things. I know you have a busy day, and
for Travis was talking about the
Of the utmost importance.
ring of silver.
Obviously,
so
that
many different things were
incredibly private. You share that only at your utmost discretion.
It will join the other secrets up my sleeve.
So much going on. So, buddy.
Very well. Then
everyone is disjointed too.
What you may accomplish
slightly connected, but not.
Two other minor things. We've had to shut down the Hall of Prophecy, so I'm not sure if the Guildmaster Nidus had anything planned there. But
Guildmaster Nidus.
This is just a little.
Why?
That's Lou.
The oracles require rest. There are some issues with the return to Dominus. I believe that they may have just been exhausted.
My bad, that was Dominus.
And they couldn't take a rest in 1 day's time?
It's possible that they will be able to reopen.
See, you got to be kind of like that if you're of that level.
Great replenishment.
But
perhaps
I
during the festival of
I don't know her enough to detect.
While we are terrestrial, we may be able to reopen it, but I will let you know as soon as we have some
power and shittiness.
I hope so.
Also, it has come to the attention of Eldamir the Wise that some artifacts from Vasselheim made their way aboard the city. There's a site warden, I believe Guardian of the Seventh. The site warden, you see he pulls something up in his own spell book. The site warden Agrupnin. I believe this is someone with whom you have some fair share of business.
Site warden. Yes.
That's Travis, yes, site warden of Agrupnin. Yeah, Mr.
Yes.
Sirit. Surit?
You see,
Surit?
he says,
Surit? Surit Abrupnin?
It's come to the attention of Eldamir the
I think it was
Wise that there may
Surit.
have been some attempts by this Archmage Chloris to recreate
Chloris, that's the name.
some vestigial, an attempt to recreate the
Vesperin?
matron's ritual.
Matron's
First
ritual,
time
we said
ever.
that before.
Pesha shows a little bit of her inner thoughts and just gives like the slightest hint of an eye roll.
Like it's ridiculous to even think about?
Does
Or she's just not to be bothered
divinity
with
and
something?
the ascension thereupon calls you some disdain, Keeper?
It just feels like such a hollow title, especially compared to the wonders and the powers that we possess as mere mortals.
You see underneath the towering statue of your grandfather, himself immortal, your words ring throughout the dome. Loris raises an eyebrow and says, I admire your,
Confidence?
for lack of a better term, team spirit. Eldamir the Wise is concerned with the wielding of such dangerous magics, and if you are able to collect any reports from the Guardian of the Seventh, it has been voiced by the Archmage Eldemir that those transmissions not be referred to the normal chain of command. The Magisterium does not need to be alerted as to the Site Warden's findings. If you might do the Archmage the favor of reporting those findings directly to me, that would be highly beneficial.
Directly to you.
Yeah.
I shall speak to the Octothurge. Run it up the chain, as they say.
You see, he says, of course, these findings should be released to the Octothurge immediately.
Well, I can see your reticence. But for me, my concern is how this information...
This whole
can go
conversation
into
is
the
very
hands of this
bizarre.
one, Mage Chloris.
I feel like this is probably the most important part. Chloris
those
keeps
questions
getting brought
deserve
up.
Answers. Terrestrial mages coming into power. Obviously, the odds that he was in any way, shape, or form successful are slim. But it's dangerous magic to tangle with, and it's the responsibility of this council to see that Exandria is kept safe from any such meddling. A formal report should, of course, be made to the Octothurge, but I understand that those take some time to compile. So if informally you wished to communicate any findings of the Site Wardens directly to me, it would be greatly appreciated.
You have my word. We will be in touch.
I don't know if this dude is... I understand what he's saying. Archmage Porco.
Nods and leaves. From there...
Break.
The day moves on, and we... I believe we take some time to... wait, how much time... sorry, Kyle, how much time do we have? Should
Might be
we
a break.
Stop? Should we keep going?
No one is answering.
It might be a break. Honestly, I feel like that's break.
You control the rain.
Hey,
There were
to
2
our
hours
thing.
and 30, great time for a break.
Hey, I'm running the show here. It's break time.
I was going to say, I feel like it should be.
Tune in after the break as we continue this Exandria Unlimited Calamity.
All right, guys, so there is part 2 of episode 1. We get to meet the rest of them. I was thinking, based on the fact we did about an hour and we met the 3 of the 6, the next hour would be the other 3. And we sealed the deal. We got everyone involved. I almost feel like Brennan didn't even know what to do at the end there. He's calling out to somebody like, yo, should we take a break? We're already past midway. There's about an hour and 45 minutes left after the break is over. Right now it's at 2:22. 2-2. There's about an hour and 45 minutes left. Let me get out everything I could think of, ask my questions. You guys fill me in on the things I don't know or the things I'm wrong on, and then I'll do part 3 of episode 1. Tomorrow is technically the release of EXU episode 2. I'm going to get as much information as possible from you guys, and I think I'm going to chop both part 3 and 4 up for tomorrow before you guys watch episode 2. I want to get all this out before episode 2 drops, so I think I'm going to take everything you guys give me and just run with it through the break. They're probably going to be about an hour a piece. I'll do part 3, part 4, and then, like I said, we're going to do a new format starting this weekend. I'll probably do one Saturday, and then Sunday maybe I'll do a live stream, and we'll do like a 2-hour live stream of episode 2. You guys let me know what you think about that. How about we do an hour, part 1 on Saturday, I'll do myself. Then we'll do a 2-hour live stream of the middle on Sunday, maybe. I'm not saying it's definite, but maybe. And then part 4, I'll put out in a separate episode like I do on a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday. It doesn't matter at that point because we'll be way ahead. You guys let me know what you think of that idea. I think I'll be able to do it. It will also help me understand the things I'm missing in episode 2 so I won't have to keep checking in with you guys. You guys just obviously know the world much better than me. Even though we're going in blind on this as it is, you guys will probably know things and be able to tell me things. All right, let's go through real quick. First off, at the end there, we get Marisha's character. I feel like they said her name was Patia. It's Patia. I think it said Patia. Patia is an elf, and her grandfather is a massive dude in history, Amir the Bold, giant statue created of him. She is obviously a Porco. That is the last name of the family who Amir is from. Amazing. She is visited by something of the wise, something with an E, Eldermere, the Y, something like that. Awesome dude, little forgetful, but the dude's probably a couple 100 years old, maybe older than that, who knows? I guess you guys might know. Either way, there's a position open as his apprentice. Some other girl is retiring, she wants to build a castle. I don't know if she wants out or if she thinks that's a good move, I don't know, but I feel like Marisha's character is very into wanting to be respected at a high level, but her family's all about that. We got Loris, who's her dude. He's being a little fishy, but I don't know if he's doing it because he's trying to protect people or he's trying to do something corrupt behind the scenes. They're talking about Vespian Chloris. Am I saying the name right? I know I'm close with the name, but Vespian Chloris is the name the dude JB, I'm pretty sure, told me about. The name that I was told you guys would immediately be like, oh my God, that dude. He is the dude, if I'm saying the name correct, but if I'm not, you know who I'm talking about. He is the dude who they must be talking about with Travis's character, who is named Surrit, who is a bird-like character. I feel like he's doing a Liam Neeson, and his friend Orum? Oh, it might have been Orum. He sounded and acted just like Sam Kinison. It had to be a reference to that. And Brendan did an amazing Sam Kinison. If it wasn't, hey, the guy should be a Sam Kinison impersonator. But I feel like Travis was doing a Liam Neeson or something. He has this machine that produced the place that Chloris, I think I'm saying a name, Chloris? I think I'm saying it wrong. Either way, he produced the building that Chloris was in. They were trying to summon something. I feel like he was trying to summon one of the betrayer gods. Is that what I was told is something that happened in Calamity? Maybe he's trying to summon one of the betrayer gods and something went wrong and they think he was fried, or maybe he was possessed, or maybe he was fried. Maybe he died in the process. I don't know. I don't know how much of that you guys know, but that is the big event, I'm assuming. Something happened with this dude. A couple people are investigating it. Marisha's character, Travis's character. And then we got the rest of the crew in the first half. Besides that, we got Lou. Lou is Nidus Okiro. Nidus Okiro. Are these guys fans of the 300? Because one guy is Xerxes and the other is Nidus. Leonidas, same character from the 300. I feel like he's a fan too, but Nidus, it could be a lot of other things. Either way, Nidus Okiro is his name. The Golden Scythe, was it called? The Gold Scythe, the Golden Scythe. He is this rich pirate dude that's apparently retired and very well known in the lower levels of the floating city. The floating city lands down, they said, sort of like an IKEA piece that fits into something. And basically they're the bottom barrel of what is the floating city. They're treated like whatever. I don't know if they're actually treated like that, but they're probably viewed that way, being as they're left behind in my mind down below and the rest float up in the city all protected and everything. They don't have to worry about weather for 7 years. Did I hear that right, or was it 7 months? I feel like they said 7 years. Every now and then for 1 month in 7 years, we have to worry about weather. I think that was said in part 1. But either way, we go down, we see the rest, and Lou, Nidus, is part of that. He's rich beyond his wildest dreams. I don't know if the dude is a good dude. I mean, he seems like a good dude, but I feel like he just goes from one person to the next and just spews bullshit. Like, don't worry, get these wands. All right, we're done with that. All right, don't worry, talk to this guy. All right, we're done with that. All right, don't worry, you worry about this. All right, we're going to take this from there and this from there, and then next month we'll worry about this. Now, you could also make the claim of the debate, that's normal life, that's regular business transactions. You got to take something from somewhere and put it somewhere else to make money move and things work. So he is just operating business as usual, perhaps. The difference here is I'll operate business that way if I know these things really exist on the other end and people are paid on the back end, therefore I could keep doing it. The machine moves. But I don't know how much of what he's saying actually has a back end. If it is true and all these things will happen and it all comes out the way he needs, in the end, then that's fine. But I just hope he isn't making all these promises and doing all these things and corrupted, just like hurting other people. Hopefully that's not the case. He seems like a solid dude. I hope that's the case. The Golden Scythe, though, there was so many different things said. There was like the gold ring, the silver ring, the brass ring, the 7 archmages, the this and oh my God, so much was said to me in the end there, especially dealing with Marisha's character. We had the 7 people that are the highest level, and then under them they have apprentices, and then there's groups of those people who are still highly respected, but they're not as highly respected at the 7, and then there are the lower level, and then we're out of Avalier, and then we're down on the bottom, and then you got guys like Lou who are apparently kings of that world, but I don't think they really matter when it comes to people in Avalier. I feel like Avalier is just controlling everything, but something huge is about to happen. Something huge already happened. I've got to find out. Vespian Chloris, I believe his name is. I got to do more research on that now because that is becoming a thing. They said he had some kind of summoning circle, and Travis's character, Surit, is investigating that. He said, keep things under wraps. Sam Kinison, you come back to me when everything is figured out. I'll come back in an hour. And Brennan at the end there was like, all right, the day is coming to an end. And I want to hear from you guys. You guys in the comments, tell me what I did and did not say. Things that I said like a ranting lunatic. What else you want to hear? I don't know. You guys want to see more of what I do? Full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel. Seasons ahead of what you're seeing. Hundreds of exclusives you only see on Patreon. The link is in front of me. Dozens of shows you'll never see on YouTube. I just don't have the time to edit it all. Check the link. If not, comments down below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.